Hey, hello, hello, hello. For those people are waiting here, I'm getting set up, giving you a few minutes. If you want to say hello, tell me where you're from. Um, we'll get started here in just a second as I get adjusted. For those of you that are watching or just popping on, my name is Patty, and I am going to be adjusting myself every now and then. I have had a knee replacement, so I'm in a little bit of pain today. I was supposed to do this between 10 and 11 attentively. However, the pain was a little too much, so I had to wait until 1 o'clock. So I had to help myself a little bit. All right. So let's see here. So some of you that are going to be coming in, if you're watching this recorded, I hope you enjoy this. I hope there's some information in here that will resonate with you and that you will enjoy. We are going to be talking about the full moon that's happening today. And it's actually probably happening already in your area of the world. It has not happened here in Pacific time. We have the full moon happening at 2:05. But did you see it last night? Wow. Big, big, big full moon. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful full moon. Lots of energies though. So hopefully with the information I'm going to give you today, along with the reading, this is going to help you for the rest of the month of March and also into April. Because remember, this full moon energy, even though it's on the 28th, it continues into April. And this full moon is going to have a lot of power through the month of April. So just looking at my notes from the last new moon reading, but we're going to get into the full moon reading. So I'm going to explain a few things because a lot of the times, if you don't know about astrology, there's a lot of different terminologies that people use, like trines and squares and sextiles and things like that. However, we're not going to go into all that. We're just going to catch what they sort of quickly mean. And then we're going to go into the reading for what it's going to mean for you. All right. So for this full moon, March 28th at 2:05 p.m., at least for Pacific Standard Time, this moon is called the worm moon or the Pichel moon. People probably pronounce it differently, but what this is this is the spring equinox moon, and the worm moon is because the earthworms then begin to come to the surface for the gardening purpose, right? So the grounds are now becoming softer, they're not as frozen, they're able to move up to the surface a little bit more, and that's why they call it the worm moon. Now, the Pichel moon is the moon prior to the Easter actually. So the Pichel moon will happen usually shortly after the spring equinox, usually within the week. And so what that means is that full moon is going to happen either rarely on the spring equinox, or it will happen within that week. And then following that is Easter Sunday. So if you know about the Pichel moon or the full moon or the worm moon or whatever you want to call it, you'll know that Easter, if you're like, well, when is Easter? It is the week after the Pichel moon. All right. So your spring equinox moon, that kind of a thing. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Have to tell us where you're from. I love it. I love it. So when you hear me talk about a trine, because this trine in the full moon right now, we have a trine 3. Okay. So in this full moon, we have not only the trine with the moon and it's opposite the sun. We also have the trine with the Chiron, the sun, and Venus. Okay. So when we have a trine, this energy sort of gives us the indication we're stuck. Okay. And it's really hard to get out of that stuck. Now, everybody's like, oh, immediately I bet you guys went to the negative. Oh man, she's talking about something I'm stuck in. I don't want to be in. Stuck can be good. Stuck can be really good. So, but it is extremely very difficult to get out of. So if you find yourself in this full moon or the couple weeks after the full moon, you're going to feel like you can't get out of something, or just something you fight to get out of. It's not happening. That's the trine that's happening with the sun, Chiron, and Venus. Okay. Venus is, of course, the planet of love. So there's some issues going on with love here, and especially in relationships. You'll hear that the full moon, we talk about relationships. This one here, the full moon in Libra, is a very gentle moon. However, it is powerful in possibly getting you stuck. So what are you stuck in? Are you stuck in something good? Are you stuck in something that's not so good? And the thing is, you have to figure out, this energy flows really easy in a trine. So it's very easy to get into a situation, very hard to get out of a situation. And I'm going to talk about balance here in a minute, because this full moon is a lot about balance. So if you guys like to take notes, here's where you should be taking notes, because this is about how you're going to get unstuck with something you don't want to be in. And then the ones that the people that are stuck in something that you like to be stuck in, keep going with that and see what's working for you in that, and keep moving, because this is going to be a balance thing here shortly. So when we're looking at the trine, this is where things sort of get stuck. Okay. And so for those of you that are just popping in, this is, and I'm going to tell you right now again, I probably will say it a couple of times, I'm squirmy because I had a knee replacement. So my leg sometimes is in a lot of pain. So I just adjust it and we're fine. So if you see me squirming, I'm the worm moon today. All right. But the thing is, when we're and this is called a grand trine for the full moon this month. It's a grand trine, meaning that you are in a rut. So to get out of this, again, it's going to be really hard. So we talk about trines. I'm not going to go into sextiles. I'm not going to go into all that kind of stuff, but I will talk about squares, because square is when something is in the opposite. Say the moon, which it is in the opposite of the sun right now. So then, hey, star, welcome. Yes, and it is about healing too. Oh, somebody's done their homework. Yay. So the thing is too about the squares. Squaring is it's more stressful. Now, stress can be in a good way or stress can be in a bad way, but this is all about the motivating factor. Okay, this is about your mindset. So when we talk about squares where the moon and the sun are, they're on the opposites right now. So you have to look at what you're looking at. Might be stressful in a good way or a not way. I say stressful as far as like excited. You're excited. It's a little nervous. So that's a little bit of a stress on your body because it's something unknown. Like in many of your signs this week, we talked about novice or something new. The number 1 kept showing up for many of you guys. So this is something new, some new energy, something that is going to motivate you, energize you. This is where this square is happening. Okay, so that is when something is opposite. Now, it could be the opposite end, because with this full moon in Libra, we're talking about a balance issue, but I'll get to next, is that we're talking about anything that stresses you in a negative, low vibration. See, when you're doing, it's really important to take notes on a lot of things that you're thinking about, how you're going about, or what you're doing, like the pros and cons, because that's where you're getting your balance. Pros versus cons, that's your balance thing. So this is a really good time to sit there and with this moon, figure out in balancing pros and cons. Also too, for this person here, gender bender prophet, this is a time about healing, because we got the planet Chiron in here in many ways, especially through the month of March, which is about healing. It is right. This person's right on. It is about healing, and we need to heal, because when we come in through the moon, the full moon, now these energies are going to go until the end of the month and into April. So we have to look at where we need to heal. So we've got like 3 huge elements with this full moon. We've got 1, the trine. What rut are we in? What do we need to get out of? Maybe we need to work harder to get out of that rut, because the trine is going to want to keep you in the rut. The other thing is, what are we getting energized about? What is it that in a positive way, what are we getting energized about? So what is it that's energizing you to lift you up in a positive way? And you have to sort of eliminate what's the negative, because here we're talking about balance again. Okay. So, and then what we're going into, the biggest thing about this full moon is that we're looking at balance between our desires and our values. Okay. So a lot of in it, or you could say wants and needs. work and home. Love relationship, not so much in love relationship, because we need that balance, because also with this we've got Venus in here with the full moon, and Venus is about love. And that's the fourth element that is going on with this full moon. It's about relationships. And this is going to go on into April, guys. Remember, I talked to a lot of you this week about communication, communication, communication. It's really key to understand another person's perspective, know your perspective, because it's going to get a little bit ugly in some of these relationships because you're having a hard time balancing each other's thought process. Maybe somebody thinks from the spirit, somebody thinks from earth, somebody thinks from earth, somebody thinks from spirit. It's a hard balance because it's a very different. You got first dimensional, you got second dimensional. Now, if you got two spirit dimensional thinking people, that's great. However, you still got somebody's perspective versus my perspective. So you've got some balance issues that you got to work out. Communication's the only thing that is going to help you through that process. Full moon energy way into April. I'll tell you right now, that is going to go through all of April. So Venus is going to have a play with that. So we want to really make sure that we figure out, and also too, the thing is, remember, we're in sort of this rut with the trine, with the full moon and the other planets, is that we need to figure out negative versus positive. We all have negative and positive. We all have shadow work. We all have dark secrets. We all have sides of us that we don't want to share with somebody. And it's nobody else's business other than yours and divine's. However, it's how our thought processes, how our thought process works. And that is based on your foundation. You guys hear me this over and over, and I probably sound like a broken record, but you're going to hear this for years to come. It's all about where your foundation is based from. And how solid that foundation is that you want to make sure that it is, if it's got one crack, super glue it. If it's got a million cracks, let's throw that thing down, wipe it out, put a new foundation in so that you can have a beautiful home built on it that's going to last forever and ever and ever. I'm talking about house foundations, if you haven't figured that out. So this is a thing that really, really is going to be important. For those of you that are dating or in relationships, here's another thing, is that because Venus and the other planets, I think Saturn's in there as well, but Chiron is there really strong as far as healing. But this Venus energy is all about, you want love and affection. Somebody wants love and affection. And regardless of the consequences, you're going to get it. You're going to go after it. You're going to manipulate it. Please step back before you do that, because some of those consequences could be a lifetime thing. STD could be a lifetime thing. Having a baby could be a lifetime thing. So being desperate for that love and affection, you have to pull back, get those horses' reins, pull them back, and say, you know what? I need to get the love and attention from myself first, or go do something to bring my vibrations up. Get your mind off of that before you manipulate something that you really don't want to manipulate. All right, that's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, because there's a lot of single people out there, a lot of people that have left people. We went through this in a lot of the signs this week. Some people have left other people. Are they coming back, or are they going to forgive me, or are they, whatever it is. But the thing is that you've got to look at the now and stay in the present, because let me tell you, those low vibrational energies to distract you are right here. They're on your freaking heels. All right. So, with the full moon, that is a lot of the energies. I would say the number one energy to take from this full moon forward all the way through April, because this is, remember, we're talking on all your signs this week. I talked about you're the gardener, but you're actually the seed, the plant that is coming up, how you take care of that garden. April, May, and June. I told you through all the readings that with the divine had said, whatever this forward energy was going to be on that third oracle, that's not just for a week. That's going to be for 2 to 3 months. So whatever you're planting, whatever you're trying to balance out, this is the time to hone in on it. Don't think about the future so much. let divine take care of that. He'll bring people in or take people out. However, you got to listen to that intuition, listen to those red flags, that negative, that positive, and what your priorities are. This is the full moon. Wait until we see the new moon. But this is actually the full moon energies are going to carry all the way to that new moon. It'll be interesting to see what the new moon carries forward from that. All right. So if you have questions right now about the full moon, you're very welcome to ask them. I'm going to pull this a little bit forward because my glasses, I think, are needing adjusting. So let me see what some of you have to say. I'm an editor and publisher. I've been dreams of calling my twin flame's name. I finally feel no anger, no negativity towards. Okay, that is, you know what, gender? That is 100% healing. Great, great point. In this healing, this Chiron healing, that is such a great point because in this full moon, when I talk about Chiron healing, and I've told you so many, because being a life coach, I have told so many of my clients that when you know you have healed from something, and somebody, for example, you still have anger or animosity or whatever from an ex, right? Or something they did, or somebody betrayed you. When you go through that healing process, and sometimes you need a coach, sometimes you need a counselor, sometimes you cannot do these healing processes alone. You just can't. You just need that extra support and understanding. And you got to know if you want a secular counselor, which means somebody of earth, or you want a spiritual counselor, you can't. I used to go to secular counseling. I can't do that anymore. I'm a coach, so I need spiritual. I need a spiritual advisor, enlightenment, which is divine for me. I don't need a human to do that. He comes and he gives me all the wisdom and the knowledge. But this is the thing. When you are healed 100%, like they said, you will have no feelings at all. There's no negative, there's no anger. You can talk about them and there is no problem to bring that in. Yes, you are then healed from that process. Now, you may have the next thing on your list to be healed from, because a lot of us have a lot of healing to go through, a lot of it. So, well, gender, you have to know that here's the thing, whoever you're talking about. Oh, yeah. But you know what? You brought up a point and somebody needed to hear that. So thank you for that. Even though I misunderstood what you were trying to say, somebody needed to hear that because, there's so many clients of mine that or sit there and say, yeah, I have no problem with that. I have even a friend who went through a divorce a year ago. Oh, I have no problem with him anymore. So I bring up their name just for a purpose to see something, and he immediately gets defensive. I'm over that. I don't need to talk about that. Well, you obviously aren't. So that's for somebody, definitely, definitely. Good for you. Yes, you do have to face your demons. A lot of people do not. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Wow. Good for you. Again, some people can do it alone. A lot of people can't. A lot of people can't. And what you have gone through is major trauma and PTSD. And that is huge. Then I would say that you probably leaned on spirit, divine, or God, or Allah, or Yahweh, or whoever you believe in. I bet you leaned on them more than anything, and they showed you how to heal. I would imagine I would do that. Their energy. So some people say, no, I leaned on the universe. Well, the universe is energy. Energy is divine. So, yeah. Yeah, you be careful with that because if they're not a willing participant, then you want to leave that alone for a while, because they need to come to you. If they start asking you questions, if anybody starts, yes, very good, very good. Yes, you need that. As anybody else in the full moon, definitely, you're gonna hear me talk about any energies that you need help with. You need to go to divine. You'll hear somebody had told me, I've had two people tell me, well, I'm going to tarot, or I'm listening to you because it's tarot and I want tarot to tell me what to do. No, N-O, N-O-N-O-N-O. Tarot is something that anybody can read. Anybody can do symbolistics. Anybody can do that. It's the conduit. It is the person. So it is for me, I pull everything from the divine. This is not my wisdom. This is not these are my experiences, but this is what the wisdom he's given me from my experiences. You got to go to the divine. Number one, you got to reach out and have faith and trust that the divine is going to show you anything and everything. I could sit here for hours in testimony and witness for you that the divine is the only way to answer or ask your questions, not tarot. Tarot is a phone. Hello, this is a connector. That's all it is. Just like your intuition is a connector, that is a protection and a mechanism. And this is it's like I can read this. I can read it a million ways. Every tarot reader can read this a million ways. But what I'm hearing him say is what I need to process through. This is the divine. That's why when I come on here, I say it's always divine driven. Everything, the name of my channel, everything that I've done is not me. It is divine. Every video that you have watched or are going to see on my Get Balanced 2020, even Get Balanced 2020, was divine driven. This started in 2019 and he has just got me going crazy. Please don't go to tarot for your first answer. Go to divine. And if you can't do that and you're not sure how to do that, get a spiritual counselor, get a spiritual coach to help you learn how to do that. All right. I'm going to get off on counseling and coaching, and I don't want to do that. So let's stay with the full moon. All right. Hey, Star. Last night I had a headache and it was on fire. I had a burst of energy as well. When I would close my eyes, I could see my divine power showing me the devil as well. Well, Star, you already know that the devil, he's on your heels and he's giving you that headache because something's coming close. He don't want you to have it. He don't want you to have it. And this is that balance thing. Remember, I said the full moon is about balance. You've got divine, and there is no comparison. A lot of people think, oh, well, the opposite of God or divine is devil. No, people have it so wrong. Divine is divine. There is nothing that can compare, no power that can match his, no nothing. There is nothing. But the divine was showing you that there is an opposition going on here. So what is it you're fighting? You're fighting something, and that is a distraction. There is something going on with you that is a distraction. All right? So make sure that you think about why he showed you that. I would definitely make sure why he showed you that. All right. Yeah, you have to trust, not ourselves. You have to trust the intuition. You have to trust the intuition because that's the divine. That's the wisdom coming through. If you trust yourself, sometimes you get your head in there. You get earth in there. So you need to actually go to spirit and really get that knowledge straight from spirit. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. This is, you can use a lot of things. I'm an intuitive. I'm extremely intuitive, sometimes clairvoyant, but that's depending on when the divine wants me to know certain information. I mean, I don't call myself a psychic. I hate that word with a passion only because it gives a negative connotation of people with the gifts and abilities. Okay. So, but the thing is that, I was given the premonition of my brother being murdered. I knew he was going to die, but I had no idea when or where. Did I try to bring him home? And, I can't stop what the divine has power over. There's no, I mean, even if I did bring him home, he would still take him home if he needed. Anyway, we're getting off topic, and I don't want to lose anybody here because they came to do the full moon. So if you have questions around the full moon, or you want to share where you're from, say hello, pop in. So let's stay with the full moon so we can get to the reading. So definitely really pay attention to balance. A lot of you guys, this reading this last week, which is going to entail the 29th through the 4th, you're going to see a lot of balance in there. You're going to see things about relationships. If you haven't watched your sign yet, go back. And if you have watched it after this full moon reading, go back and see it again, because you might catch things that you didn't catch the first time. And you'll see that things are going to play into more. Now, when we're talking about my readings and the full moon, we actually mix, divine astrology and numerology. I think it's extremely important because the full moon energy overlaps with divine overlaps. I had a protein bar that just didn't seem to settle. That overlaps with all. And then numerology, that dates back thousands of years, and that is also a different language, just like the cards are. Numerology is a different language and energy that comes into play with all three. So if you have a tarot reader that does all three, that makes them unique because you have to really not only study what it's all about, but you have to ask divine how it all interacts. And for some, like me, I've been given visions for, and when I say I'm being given visions, I'm talking about in the next 2 to 3 months, things are happening. Like I kept saying in all your readings this week, the future energy is not for just next week, it's for the next couple of months. Divine does that to me all the time. I'll tell my daughter, something's going to happen in the next 2-3 months. I don't know what. I don't know if it's good or bad, but as I get closer, he usually shares more and more information, just like COVID. Knew that was going to happen. Didn't know what it was at first, but as soon as I heard the word COVID, I said, okay. And then I saw the movie on how it all was going to play out. It's very interesting how he does this. Usually I'm not sight, I'm audio, and I feel energies. I feel your auras. I have just a lot of different abilities. Clairvoyant. I've had so many paranormal things. I've had poltergeists. I've had spirits. I've had residual energies coming around. It's crazy. So anyway. All right. Let me see. Yes. Well, and distractions and addictions. Those are. Addictions are a little bit different though, because those are a stronghold, and you have to be willing to break those. And they can be broken. That's sort of, again, that balance between spirit and earth, and like depression, anxiety, panic attacks, those kind of things are very earth based because of the foundation that you're coming from. Definitely. Yeah. Balance, definitely, indeed. Well, divine is not he. I call divine he. That's just my way of putting it. A divine is an energy. Yeah. And I hate to say it, I'm old school and I'm a boomer. So I don't do this politically correct stuff. I just don't. I get what you're saying. I just go by the way that I was raised. In that, I get that there's a lot of people changing out there. And whatever people's belief system is, that's their thing. But you have to respect mine as well. So I don't do the political stuff. It doesn't matter to me because when I die, it doesn't matter. We're all who we were born to be. So I mean, that's just me. Yeah, see, Star, I knew something was going on with you. When you came on, I had an energy. I knew something that was going on with you. Didn't allow to beat me, but now I feel good. You stay in the presence of the divine, and you will stay calm. You make all your decisions and your choices through divine, you will grow even more calmer and more at peace. Yeah. The thing is, gender, when we talk about people, as long as you love and respect everybody, it shouldn't matter. It's as long as you love and respect. Yeah. And my daughter, words definitely are very important. And this is what I teach, and this is what I talk about when I talk about life balance coaching. We have to, and it was in many of your readings this week, is that we have to be careful. This is full moon coming up. This is full moon. This is Chiron. This is Venus. This is a lot in your relationships and your balance. Yes, your words are extremely powerful. This is a sword. You can either bring things together, you can cut them like a Japanese sword on paper. Whee! It's gone. Most of you guys know I lived in Japan for years, so I'll go back and resonate with that. But the thing is, yes, words are extremely powerful. That's why when it's funny that you said that, because here's the thing: I'll get people that will make a comment, or somebody will text me a question, or because you can contact me anytime. You can email me, you can contact me. My Facebook. I'm not on Facebook as much because I'm so busy. But the thing is that when somebody contacts me and says, "Hey," and then they start using some cuss words, it's like, okay, cuss words are fine if you want to use them. However, they're very, very low vibrational words. So I don't want low vibration. So, and if you start the word out with, "Hey," I don't care what generation you're in, it's disrespectful. So I will correct them in that, just saying, "Hey, I'm a boomer, and I would prefer you to say, 'Excuse me,' or 'Pardon me,' or whatever. Can I ask a question?" Not just saying, "Hey, did it." Be respectful in love and respect from anybody. And words extremely powerful. Thank you for sharing that, Gender. That is really, really important. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Hey, Hingham, hi, welcome. Okay, so let's get into a little bit of a reading for this full moon. But we already know that these things are going to be really important. And a thing that I'm going to emphasize with you guys right now with this full moon, and what I felt in your not only felt, but divine showed me through all of this, is your balancing. This balancing act that you guys got going on, trying to figure that out, trying to make it a little bit less than this, trying to make it a little bit, working that movement. You got to keep your feet moving to make things happen. The moment you stop, you're in that trying of being in a rut. Don't stop moving. Just keep moving in a direction of up. All right. Oh, don't tell me he's mowing my lawn. So I have knee replacement, so I have to have help. So my lawnmower broke. So let me tell him, no! Let me see if I can get him to stop. Hopefully you guys can't hear it, but I don't know. Lon! I think he's quitting. We live in Oregon, and it's about to rain here, so it's like, please don't mow my lawn when it's gonna rain. Bless his heart. I really hope. I appreciate the help, though. He's not stopping. Okay, I gotta stop him. Line! Oh my gosh. Well, let me see if I can get his daughter to help me. Hang on, guys. Sorry, I didn't mean to do this to you, but I didn't know he was going to do that at all. Hey, Nico, can you yell at your dad? I can't have the lawnmower going in the backyard while I'm doing this. He's trying to mow the lawn. Yes. Why did you just cut it? I can't. Yeah. Anyway, all right, so let's get going, guys. Sorry. This is life. Life of an empath. Lovely. All right, so I apologize. Yeah. No, you know what? It's not I'll disagree with that. Here, the reason why, Gender, I say that it's not say that I'm a boomer. You know why? Some people didn't make it to boomer age. Some people didn't make it to wake up this morning. So I'm actually very grateful, thankful to be a boomer. I really am. So I look at it very differently. I look at it more of the positive light rather than the negative light. So, yeah, so let's get going here, though. And I deeply, deeply apologize. Yeah. So, yeah. All right, so let's get going. So balance. Relationships, here's the thing. If you haven't watched my communication or my love relationship or my love meanings, for the videos, the 2 videos I did from last month, really important with Venus coming up, and also communications. If you're having problem communicating with your loved ones, your children, your family, your lover, but also too, love will help you in your bedroom. It will help you because it's all about talking about love languages as well. All right. So let's get 3 oracles and see what is going on. Again, I apologize for the disruption. So yeah, 100%. 100%. As I tell you guys, really look towards the divine. Find out who you would call your creator. If you want to call him Allah, if you want to call him, Yahweh, you could say the universe, you could say Buddha, whoever you believe in. However, I believe in God. I believe in the higher power. I believe in all that. And trust me, I've been given more testimonies that I can go with. I'm a lot older than many of you guys, even though I look like I'm 30. Not really. Anyway, High Priestess, first card for the full moon. Discernment, prophecy, and vision. I'd love to know how many of you guys out there have discernment. How many of you guys out there really have intuition that you listen to? Or at one point, maybe you were like poo-pooing it and went against it. And then later on said, you know what, there is something to this intuition. I'm going to listen to it. I'm wondering how many of you out there are like that, or even recognize that you have intuition. This is the number one key language between you and communication. It's sort of like your frequency to divine and getting all the answers that you need, and actually for your journey and your path to get things back in balance again, to get your relationships in order again. That's really, really the key. You know why? Because the other energy for the full moon is power and strength. So sometimes we give our mind too much power and too much strength, and that's where we get into trouble. Because then we are earth-based, first-dimensional based. We need to be second-dimensional based first and foremost. Yeah. And whoever and what you believe in is between you and divine. It really, really is. It is really between you and divine, and that's where it is. But you have to have a higher power. Yes. See, and the other thing too, like Star said, this discernment that we have, this prophecy, we cannot poo-poo it. When we poo-poo it, it's just like saying you've been given, and she said it's being confirmed, right? You're being confirmed. Your intuition is confirming. And the more confirmations that you get, the more you trust, the more you believe, the more you have faith in the second dimension, in spirit. And that is really, really key. That gives you more power, more strength to fight the low vibrations, to fight the toxic people that come in with us, the toxic habits that we can form and grow. That's it. These are full moon energies, guys. These are full moon. That's why I'm talking about intuition, because when we're talking about balance, the negative versus the positive, the house versus the work, you got to be listening to this intuition that is happening. This is really huge. Because the other energy that the full moon has, along with the next couple of months, is our healthy boundaries and our independence. Many of you guys got the cat in your readings, okay? And the thing is, how independent are you? Because that is really, really something to sit down and write. Am I so independent? Okay, so I used to be so independent, nobody could help me. Nobody could help me. I was a single mom, entrepreneur, owned my own business, did everything by myself. Really bad habit. Because when you create more independence, then it becomes prideful. And then you also became self-centered. You became that I can do everything. And actually the divine is giving you and helping you do it. And you can't even acknowledge the thanks that you get from there. But also creating healthy boundaries. So for those of you that I've been sexually abused as a kid, as you know, over the time and over my coaching and my all my counseling way back in the day, is that I had to learn healthy boundaries. and not to be a doormat, and to learn. Like, that's why that love video is so important, to learn what love really is and the different levels of love. Because when you got Venus here in the picture and we're talking about relationships, a lot of people are not on the same page about love. Boo! I'll tell you right now, when I do coaching, a lot of people are on different pages. The man is on a very, very different page as far as the woman. The woman has got her emotional side thinking. I had a gentleman say, you know what? I was in a relationship and I didn't even know I was in one. So that love relationship and that love video, if you haven't watched it, go back and watch it and see if you're on the same page as your partner. Or if you want to date, then you'll know who and what you're going to have the intention to date for. All right. But these healthy boundaries keep your garden. Now, we talked about the garden in a lot of your readings. Most of the time I will talk about the garden, but you are the seed, you are the plant that is going to be growing. And when we talked about these healthy boundaries, okay, we have to not only take care of our spirit, our mind, and our body. So we have to actually make a fence around our garden. For one, we don't want deer coming in and eating the plants. We also want to keep things out, but we also want to keep certain things in. We want healthy things in there. We want to keep those nutrients in the ground. We want to keep the water. We want to keep maybe some sticks and plant holders to keep them upright. We want to make those things healthy and growing up. For us as human beings, it's our food, it's our nutrition, it's our exercise, it's anything for our body that we can do. However, that's not where it starts. That's why this book back here was written, because a lot of people start dieting. With my nutrition and fitness degree, you don't start with your body first. You start with here and here first. Huge, huge, huge difference. If you want it to stick, you have to start there. All right. So this is a thing where you have to really build. This is another element with the full moon. We're talking about healing. So a lot of people who overeat, have addictions, have strongholds, if you want to call them, are actually numbing themselves from the foundation that they got from a childhood or earlier, infancy possibly, or even as a young adult, been broken to the point where they want to numb themselves, self-medicate, as they call it. Now, for gender, I've worked in addiction, so I know what you're talking about. I understand that. So the thing is that what you want to do is really, really think about these things that are entering your mind. I'm going to say, as you watch this video, if you're not watching live, you're watching it later, go ahead and think about the things that you immediately popped into your mind. These are things that need to be worked on. If you're like fighting with your partner, oh man, if you would just, put this toilet seat down. Okay, well, that toilet seat becomes your issue because you want him to put the toilet seat down, but he's happy with doing that. If you cannot communicate that, then it becomes your problem because you don't like it. Just put the toilet seat down. Is it that big of a thing? Are you going to really fight about something that actually you cannot take with you and when you pass on? All right, those kind of things. So independence. How independent are you? You've got to be able to have a give and a take, and there's never going to be equal. Whether there's balance, it's never going to be 100% balance. It's never. A lot of people say, well, I want, I want a partner so that we can do 50-50. There is never a 50-50. I'm sorry to say, guys, there's never a 50-50. It'll be 51, 52, whatever. It's never going to be that way. It's just the way that we're built. It's not supposed to be 100% balanced in that manner. All right. Yeah. First card out, Wheel of Fortune. This is all about your choices, your decisions. You've been given free will. And this is your choices and your decisions, and the thing is, if you choose to live the earth life and live a secular life, that's your decision. If you want to live a spiritual life, that is your decision. If you want to stay in a rut like the trine, that's your decision. If you want to get balanced, just like Get Balanced 2020, I didn't pick that name, Divine did. If you want to get balanced, that's mind, spirit, and body. You have to have all three elements working together, or you're just not going to get balance. You can get balance as close as you can, but you have to think of every single person on this earth as a vase. that has cracks in it. It's just how many cracks, how many scars, how many wounds, how many things you have. If you saw my vase, it looks like a shattered piece of vase that has been put back together. But that's all by faith and all by trust in the second dimension, the divine. All right. Yes, choose your battle star. Definitely. You have to. You have to step back and analyze. Be the hermit. Be the hermit. Step back, analyze, is this really worth it? Same with when you're in an argument. I have never been in an argument for years. I've been close to an argument because of the other person, but I will step back and diffuse. Step back and diffuse. Because you don't need to argue. Those energies, that's what the divine sets us up for, so that we can look at somebody else's perspective, but not have to actually agree to it. We don't have to agree to it. Again, this is looking towards the future. And the future is the next couple of months. All right. What I like is that the Queen of Pentacles came in here. You know why? Because for those of you that maybe have been in a financial struggle, maybe that you've been having some imbalance in your work, that kind of a thing, the financial outlook for this next couple of weeks in the full moon is actually going to be much better. So I don't know what it is about your life or what's going on. So really be mindful in the choices that you make. Again, we're trying to create a balance. Be mindful in those choices that you're going to make, because it is going to help your income and your financial situation. All right. Yeah. All right. I don't know if this is actually. Yeah. All right. So let's see what else we have here. So this is a reading again for the next couple of weeks, and this is for all signs. Again, we've got the High Priestess is the first thing. This is all about your intuition. And the more power you listen to your intuition, the more you're going to benefit, the more you are going to gain. All right. Wonderful. Isn't it so beautiful? Some of you are going to really work hard these next couple of weeks. You're really going to work hard on yourself. And the thing is that it's going to all pay off. Here's why. We've got the Magician. I'm going to move this around a little bit for a second. We've got the Magician. We've got the 8 of Pentacles. And then we have the 10 of Cups. So this is also a really, really good blessing, because this is why you're going to work hard on yourself. You're going to work hard on your mindset. You're going to work hard on your spirit. You're going to work hard on listening to that intuition. You're going to be working hard on balancing. You're going to be working hard on your pros and cons, work versus home. Sometimes we take jobs and do jobs and stay in the rut, in the trine of that job, when we really are being told by divine it's time to move on. And then when you release that, say, okay, I'm ready to move on, he'll open the door where you should be moving, because then we have the 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups. Beautiful, 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 beautiful ending. And this is about relationships again. The 10 of Cups is about relationships. This is about everything coming together the way that you want them. But you got to do your homework. Got to do your homework. All right. All right. Yeah, I walk away. Yeah, and sometimes when you walk away, though, Star, you got to say, "Hey, I'm going to walk away. Let's resolve this, or come back to this when we're not so heated. Give it a time frame. This is a communication thing, because a lot of people walk away, and then some days it goes for days or week. Not acceptable. Not acceptable. And if it's not, if it doesn't directly involve you, yeah, let them hash it out. Don't enable it. Let them hash it out. Definitely, 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 definitely. Now, if anybody else has any questions that wants to come in or ask about the full moon, I'm going to get a few more energies on that. And we've been long, so because of my stupid lawnmower, but we'll get going on this for you guys so you can go. All right. So definitely. So, the other thing too is, for those of you that are single out there, how independent are you? How willing are you to allow somebody to help you? Did you know, for those people that are new to my site, do you know that when you allow somebody to help you, to give you assistance, or even give you a gift of whatever it is, that it is also allowing them to be blessed as well? Because there is something in their brokenness or something in their past that they feel that need to give, or maybe divine has said. Now, I've had a lady give me $3,000 because divine said she needed to, but these people were multimillionaires. But the thing is, this was for my company, and the company needed it back in 2005. And the thing is that, you know, sometimes they'll do that, but that is not only a blessing to them, but it's a blessing to the receiver as well. So if you're hearing that somebody wants to help you in something and you're being stubborn and that pride sticking in there again with that independence, you're not allowing for that person to be blessed as well. Are these upside down? Oh man, really? Seriously? Did I do that right? Okay. So we have the Empress and the Emperor. Oh, look at this power couple. How did that happen? I just got this deck out. Some things told me, divine said, no, use this deck today. So I was like, I haven't used that deck for a while. So this is the Pirates of the Caribbean, actually from, I believe, Romania, this deck. But look at this power couple, the Emperor and the Empress. Major. So somebody is having a really, really good, powerful relationship. This is something the divine is working on. There is a relationship out here divine has put together. This is something that needs to keep working. Whoever this is, do not stop. Do not give it up. You might be in a rut, but communication and finding out each other's love languages is really going to grow and really change this around, because again, this is divine intervened. And the first card out for the full moon is the Wheel of Fortune. All right. All right. Okay. So let's see here. Oh my gosh. Let's see here. So this energy in the center is the power and the strength. Divine is asking me to ask you, where is your power and strength coming from? Where is your power and strength coming from? And everybody's like, what do you mean by that, Patty? So is your power and strength coming from your head, or is it actually coming from your spirit? Again, I'm going back to the intuition. So when you make a decision these next 2 weeks, I want you to ask yourself, before you make a decision, pull back, pull those reins back, stop that horse and say, where am I making this decision from? We're talking about balance. We want to bring that balance, more of a spiritual second dimension, because you want to have faith, you want to have trust, you want to believe in what you can't see, because that's where we're headed anyway. So you want to be able to have that trust and faith and belief in that. Yeah. So we have the 8 of Cups. Definitely. And while you're going through this process for the next couple of weeks, I'm going to say, really, really, please look at this again. Watch this full moon again, because if you're not taking notes, this is so packed that you really, really, really need to look at it and say, where is it going? Where am I headed? Where do I want to go? Because we're in spring equinox. And this is why divine said it's going to take a couple of months, because he's wanting to see, and again, for gender's purpose, energy wants to see where we're going to go, what we're going to do, how we're going to pick, how we're going to move forward. And I'll tell you what, the more that you live spiritual, like I do, as an empath, being an empath, you're alone most of the time anyway. But the thing is, your decisions will maybe make you a little bit more solitude. But when you get rid of all the riffraff and the bad habits and the people that shouldn't be in your life anyway, and all those distractions and things like that, then your life becomes more peaceful, becomes more quiet, more joyful. You're able to focus and get clarity much, much easier, because the noise and distraction's gone. But it is a challenge, because it's not something that everybody wants to do or will do. by live by spirit or second dimension first. All right. So we're going to do these last 3 cards. And if anybody has any questions right now, please go ahead and ask them. Or even if you just want to say hello, just go ahead and say hi. Let me know where you're from. If you're from the States, if you're from another country, I would love to know while I look at these and analyze what's going on here. Ha ha ha. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So the 5 of Swords and the King of Wands. Okay. We're talking about balance. We're talking about lovers. We're talking about healing. We're talking about bringing, again, balance. Now, with this, the King of Wands, about communication. Communication, communication, communication. The 5 of Swords is all about the truth. Absolute truth, not human truth, not earth truth. Absolute truth, which is spiritual truth, not secular truth. Because secular truth is like this. You know, it's like, okay, in nutrition, studied nutrition for years, for many years. Don't eat the yellow of the yolk, or of the egg. Don't eat the yellow. Don't eat the yolk. Don't eat the yolk. It's all cholesterol. It's all cholesterol. Then 10 years later, they're saying, oh, no, it's not bad for you. Make sure you mix it all. But if you're in nutrition, if you don't mix all that together, it's not a complete protein. People are thinking, I'm getting protein. No, you're not. You're getting an incomplete protein if you don't eat both the yolk and the whites together. Earth is like this because we're all human and we're all trying to figure it out, right? So absolute truth from the spirit. Okay. Ace of Swords. You got 5 of Swords, Ace of Swords. We're all talking about truth. Absolute truth. Just like a compass. Absolute north. Not north, because north can be off. We want absolute north. All right. And then we got the last card as lovers. Venus. But what I hear with this is healing. Healing, healing, healing. Okay? You have to heal. Have to heal. Definitely have to heal. You know, that is just something that needs to happen for somebody because you have the final card of everything here. All right? So definitely have to. Again, this healing, I'm going to tell you right now, this healing that needs to happen between, and if I don't care if you're just beginning to date, you know, this communication thing is huge. Ask the questions, get clarity, ask, get it so that you can balance out, get it so that you're not on different pages, that kind of thing. Even if you're dating, the other thing is if you're healing, you need to go to each other and find out what they need to heal. And if you're able to help them with their healing or how to find healing for them, if it's a counselor or a coach or whatever it is that they need to heal. Maybe it's just communication, miscommunication, and you would be surprised at how long, in-depth talks can clear up a lot. A lot, a lot, a lot. Yes, you're right, Star. We are not meant to be alone. This is when we were put on this earth, however you ever think that we're supposed to be put on this earth, we're not to be alone. Why do you think the animal kingdom and anything else goes in pairs? We're not to be alone. We're to be each other's helper. So women are very emotional beings. Men are very logical beings. And the thing is, we need to help each other because men need that little more emotional side, that more, you know, what do you call it? More lifting up, more support, more support. Whereas women sometimes we need that physical testosterone to help us with things. We're not meant to do a lot of what men do. When I was bodybuilding and I was competing, that's not really supposed to be a woman's sport. But that's why we end up, a lot of women, they juice, which means taking steroids, and they end up getting very muscular because they're not meant to be that. But the thing is, when we look at a man and a woman and the roles that we play, when we put them together in the right manner, then actually we are each other's helper. Yes, we're not meant to be alone. To be alone, you do need to be in your singleness. If you're broken and if you're healing and if you're working on yourself, that is the best time to do it. And here's the thing, what's really cool about singleness is that you listen and you can hear divine a lot better because you have nobody else to concentrate on but you and divine. And that's why I've been single a lot of my life, and I know that's why he's kept me there, because I don't know why he calls me divine warrior. I don't know, but he said, "You're my warrior," and I'm like, "I'm what?" And I've had people call me, "Yeah, you're a spiritual warrior. You're God's warrior," and I'm like, "What?" But the thing is, in your singleness, you can hear, you can see your gifts, you can feel your gifts even more. And then when you come together with somebody, you have to be yourself. Somebody this week said, yeah, I try to be, or I, try to be somebody that, to the point where they were saying that they're not. We can't do that. We're throwing off the balance. You have to go in there. If somebody doesn't like a spiritual me, then I'm not the person for you. I'm just not. So yes, you're right. You're right. Hello, Mariella. Mariella. I always say names wrong. If I see your face, I'll remember it for a lifetime. But names, I really mess up. Hello, welcome, welcome. I appreciate it. But yeah, so definitely we were not meant to be alone. And if you are alone, don't be sad in that. This is a time to embrace what you need to be learning and what lessons you need to be learning and what gifts. So you got to listen to that intuition even more. Definitely needs to listen to that intuition more. Yes, it definitely a balance that we need. Definitely so. But that's pretty much the full moon, guys. This is going to be for a couple of weeks, but it's also going to be through April, because I think that the new moon is actually going to bring these energies as well, only they're going to heighten it even more, because it is about our vision. It is about our prophecy, and our prophecy is our calling and our purpose. All right. So this is what your purpose is. This is what your calling is. Now, for those of you that are just chiming in and don't listen to me very well, or not very well, that was wrong wordings. Yeah, words are powerful, but have not seen my channel or don't watch my channel yet, then you won't understand that some people think that the destiny, oh, that's my destiny. No, that's incorrect. You say my purpose or my calling. The destiny is the events that get to you to your purpose or your calling. Okay. And that's sometimes like what's in the trine for the full moon right now will get you in a rut. People will get you in a rut. Habits will get you in a rut. And choices and decisions will get us in a rut where we can't move forward. So this is the time. This is planting season. This is to put the seed in the ground. Make sure your soil is healthy. It's got enough nutrients. It's got enough water. The fence is up around it. There's a door to the fence that you can go in and out. It's not a fence that's locked in. Oh crap, how do I get into my garden now because I have a wall up? These are things that you really want to pay attention to. You are the garden. You are the plant in the center of the garden. Keep those weeds out. Keep the toxic people out. Keep the toxic habits out. Keep the toxic strongholds out. And be strong. Again, you have the power and the strength to say no. Okay? Because we have the number 2. Again, I'm going to finalize with this. Number 2 is you can either bring things together and bring them into balance, or you can divide it. That's the number 2. And the number 6 is all about your harmony and your improvement, your peace of mind, your peace of spirit, peace of your body. And this is also the number 9, your independence and this is number 9. This is key. If you don't have a healthy spirit, a healthy mind, then your body goes to it does. You don't start with dieting with your body. You start with your mind and your spirit. You're really your spirit first and then your mind. Once you get your spirit right, your mind takes off and it's like, you know what's right, you know what's wrong. You don't even have to know anymore what's right and wrong because your spirit will say, yes, do it. No, don't do it. And then you follow it. That's a big difference. All right. Yeah, you do. When you make time. Yes. You step out of a different place. You definitely do. But you got to have your own self-time, though, Star. Have your own self-time to refuel, to sit in nature, read a book, listen to music, whatever it is, but just to have quiet time. Even if people take 5-10 minutes, sit in a car by yourself, no music, no nothing, just breathe. Breathing is so huge. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys had fun. This is a little bit over an hour than what I wanted to do, but hey, my legs stood up for the whole hour. But it's been a slow process. I thank everybody for the support through my legs healing and everything. I really support, and I really thank you guys so much. Don't forget, if you watched this and you didn't quite catch everything, or you didn't watch it from the beginning, please go back and watch it. This is packed. This is packed. And this is packed not for everybody, but whatever resonated with you while you were watching it, you need to really hone in on that. Get yourself a piece of paper. Start doing the work. These next 2 months are going to be key for you for the rest of 2021. And if you need help, or if you aren't sure, email me. It's all free. If you're not sure, look at the videos that I have, either in Transforming Your Mind, Spirit, and Body, or the spiritual videos. Again, go back and watch the communication one, the one on love. I think those are the 2 that he had me do in February. Really packed. I really didn't expect them to turn out that way. But that's not me. That's mostly him coming through. So, but go through that. But don't ever hesitate. I don't charge anything. You want to go onto my website, you can look and see the things that I do. However, the only time I charge is if I'm booked up and I'm packed and we want to really get into depth for like an hour, then that's when I would. Otherwise, I never charge. All right. You always can ask questions. Right, Star? All right. So you guys have a wonderful week. I will be doing, starting to do now, just so you know, I have been doing readings only like twice, 2 in a day. I've been pushing to do 3, but it's usually Tuesday through Saturday. So I will do them live Tuesday through Saturday. I don't know which signs I'm reading first because it's up to Divine. Whoever he says, I want you to do this sign, then I do that. And then I usually do like the water sign, the fire sign, or whatever. But I usually start out with what he wants me to do. All right. So that's where that goes. All right. And then don't forget to like, for any YouTube creator, when you like that, YouTube has some analysis that they do that the more that they get liked for views, then the more they move up and it gets shared more. I don't know about that kind of stuff. All I know is what I do and I enjoy it. But don't forget to subscribe or share this with somebody that it may resonate. Maybe it's not resonating with you, but it will with somebody else. But this is the full moon. This isn't me. These are the energies of Chiron, the moon, the sun, Venus, and there's some other things going on up there that I didn't go into, but that is pretty much the energies. All right. You guys go have fun, enjoy, be safe. Walk in love and walk in absolute truth, because that will change your mind or your life completely. All right. Take care. Thanks. Thanks, Star. Thanks, Gender. I think Gender left, but that's okay. And Mariella, thank you so much for popping in and in actually coming in. All right. Thank you, Star. Love you too. Take care.